Hello, good evening, everyone. I hope I am clearly audible.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay. So, today's class is dedicated to vocabulary. Vocabulary is a section in any competitive exam that has a lot of ambiguity associated with it. Truth be told, it's quite hazy because there are hundreds and thousands of words in the dictionary, and it's not humanly possible for you, for me, or for anyone for that matter to know about or memorize all the words that are out there. So, vocabulary in itself is something which is very, very varied, which is very dicey. And the right approach to study vocabulary, the intent should not be कि मैं सबसे ज़्यादा words memorize करूँगा या करूँगी. The intent should be how can I facilitate this process of memorizing the words. Because sometimes what happens, we go through, we read 10 words, and at that very moment we think कि okay, मुझे याद हो गया सब. And the very next day, or probably half an hour later, we do not remember anything. So the intent, the ideal way that one should follow in order to approach vocabulary as a subject in itself is remembering or trying to memorize the root words. What are root words? We have already discussed this in the previous sessions. I'm sure if I have taken your class in the past, we have discussed about etymology. Etymology is the study of root words. So there are certain root words that are small portions or parts of larger words. And root words are fundamental words, words that cannot be broken down into further parts. And generally, what happens, for example, let's say I have a word or I have a root word, mal, okay? And there is a word that has mal in it. There could be other letters as well, but it has mal in it. Now, if I know the meaning of mal as a root word, it means something which is evil, or something which is harmful, something which is not good, not in good light. And then there are 4 options that follow. And 3 options talk about things that are good, that are nice, kind, generous. And then there is 1 option that talks about something which is not as good, something which is bad, something which is evil. And even if I do not know the meaning, the exact meaning of the word that is given to me, but I can relate with mal. If mal is in that word, it is pretty obvious that कुछ अच्छा तो meaning नहीं होने वाला है इसका, कुछ खराब ही होगा, something pertaining to evil, something pertaining to bad forces, right? So root words के तरीके से अगर हम vocabulary को याद करें, it is an easier process rather than rote learning. Rote learning एक time तक याद रहेगी, आगे जाके हम एक ना एक दिन भूल जाएंगे. So that is the intent. Today we are going to discuss a few root words, commonly used root words, and obviously we cannot discuss everything in one class, but yes, I have tried to cover as much as I could, the important ones at least. So without any further ado, let's start with the first root word that we have. The first root word is Benny. Benny means something which is good, something which is well, means well, benefit, beneficial, an advantageous or a helpful situation, a beneficial situation. Benevolent, a benevolent person, someone who's very kind, someone who's very generous, someone who's very magnanimous, has a big heart. Benefactor is someone who gives money or help to the other person, someone who lends money to the other person, and the other person who is receiving that money is known as the beneficiary. So benefactor and beneficiary, right? Benign. Now, benign could be used in 2 connotations. If I'm calling a person or an individual as benign, I mean that the individual is very docile, very kind, very someone who's very compliant, बहुत ज्यादा harmless individual है, बहुत docile, kind individual है. If I'm talking about benign in some other connotation, so if I'm pretty sure that you must be aware of this. So when we talk about cancer as a disease, there are 2 types of tumors in cancer: benign tumors And then we have malignant tumors. So the difference between benign tumors and malignant tumors, benign tumors are restricted to their point of origin. They do not spread through the entire body. So if a tumor has originated in the liver, and if it is a benign tumor, it will remain restricted to the liver cells. It is not going to metastasize to other parts of the body. And that is why such tumor is a harmless tumor, because it is easier to get rid of that tumor because it has not spread to all the other parts of the body. So it is a good tumor, a harmless tumor, a benign tumor. A malignant tumor, again, it has the root word mal in it. Mal hai to obviously acha nahi hoga, something pertaining to evil. Malignant tumors, they spread from their point of origin. So if a tumor has originated in the liver, it can spread to the lungs, to the intestines, to other parts of the body as well. And that is why it is very difficult to get rid of such tumors surgically or any other process. It becomes very difficult because it rapidly spreads to other parts of the body. So malignant comes from the root word mal, meaning dangerous, meaning harmful. So Benny, opposite is mal. Moving on to the next root word, you can take screenshots, or if you feel like you won't be able to note everything, because we have to cover at least 28, 29 root words. So you can please go ahead and take screenshots if you want. Next, root word bell. Now, bell ke do origins hain. If it is originated from the root word bellum, bellum means war or fight. So a belligerent person, a bellicose person, bellicose, right? Someone who is very, very hostile, someone who has a very hostile nature, someone who's always ready to fight, someone who's very aggressive, gets fired up very easily, is a belligerent person, is a bellicose person. Again, a rebel, someone who wants to fight against the norm, someone who wants to fight against authority is a rebel. Rebellion is the act of fighting against authority. Antebellum. Now here, sometimes we see that one word would be made up of more than one root word. So this is one such word. Anti is a root word in itself. Please note anti and anti difference. Anti is also a root word. It means to contradict something or in opposite light, opposite of something. Ante means before. Okay, and bellum, war. So antebellum is a specific period of time before war. Again, bell, the second connotation that it can be used in comes from the root word bellus, which means beautiful. For example, belle, it is the French word, we tend to use it in English as well for beautiful, a beautiful woman. Embellish, to embellish something is to make something more beautiful, to decorate something, to adorn something. Right? When you adorn something, you embellish it to make something more beautiful or attractive.
Ma'am, what's the meaning of the anti with an E?
Hanji?
What was the meaning of anti with an E?
Anti with an E. This one?
Yeah.
It means before. Before. आएगा ये root word आगे. ठीक है? Varun? Just a second, guys. Sorry, I needed water. Okay, let's move on. Okay, next root word, side. Side means to kill. So, homicide, killing of a human being, suicide, killing of oneself, pesticide, a substance that kills pests, insects that grow on crops. Genocide is mass killing of a particular group or an ethnic group, people of similar ethnic backgrounds or race or kind or creed, right? So mass killing or killing of a large group of people is known as genocide. Patricide, matricide, fratricide, sororicide, right? So many such words. Side jahan bhi dikhe, jahan pe bhi associated ho, it has something to do with killing. Next, amic. Amic बोल लो, इसको आप आमी बोल लो. Thank you so much. Right? Amic बोल लो, it means friend. In fact, army, just AMI, army is the French word for friend. It literally means friend in French, army. So amicable, amiable, someone who's friendly, someone who's very peaceful in general. Amity, a peaceful association, a peaceful friendship. Inimical, an inimical individual. Inimical, someone who's very the opposite of friendly, someone who's very mean, or not mean exactly, someone who could be harmful to you, someone who doesn't have your best interests at their heart, someone who could be an enemy to you, a hidden enemy to you, someone who's not your friend, someone who could be harmful to you, right? Amigo, again, the friend, Spanish word for friend. So amic is the root word for friend. Hanji.
Ma'am, in the previous one, was it amicable or amiable?
Amicable का मतलब भी friendly होता है. इसका synonym बता रही हूँ एक और, amiable.
अच्छा.
Amiable is the synonym for amicable. इसका भी मतलब होता है someone who is friendly. ठीक है? Amicable, amiable, they are synonyms.
ठीक है मैम. Thank you.
ठीक है? Next, ab. Ab is the root word for to be away from something or to be dissociated from something. When you're absent, you're away from that particular place. You're somewhere else. You're not in that particular space or place. Abstain. When you abstain from something, you refrain yourself from doing that thing. My friend wanted me to try that junk food, but I abstained. I did not try it. I steered away. I did not, I was not a party to it. To stay away from something, to refrain from doing something. Abduct is to take someone away from a particular place, often by force, to kidnap someone. Abduct is to kidnap someone. Abnormal, away from the normal. Normal से दूर, abnormal. ठीक है? Next आ जाते हैं war, VOR or VOUR. Both versions are acceptable. Carnivore, so vor is the root word which has to do with eating, to eat. So carnivore, an animal that eats meat. Herbivore, an animal that eats plant. Omnivore, devour, to eat something very quickly. When you're hungry, you tend to eat, anything that is in front of you in a very not very beautiful way, right? So you devour food at that time. You quickly eat it. You inhale food. Voracious, again, voracious. He is voracious. He is starving. Someone who has a great desire to eat. Someone who has a great appetite. Now, voracious can be used in other connotations as well. Voracious literally could be used for someone who literally has a huge appetite or a huge desire to eat food. Voracious could also be used for someone who has a huge appetite for something apart from food. If I say that someone is a voracious reader, that means that that person has a huge appetite for reading books. Someone is a voracious drinker. Someone is an alcoholic. They have a huge appetite for alcohol. So could be used in several contexts, but the literal meaning, voracious is someone who has a very huge appetite or an excessive desire to eat. Next root word is cert. Cert actually short form hai. The main root word that cert is also taken from is certus. So it means to be sure of something, to be certain, to be fixed, right? So जो main word हमें यहाँ से पता चल रहा है is certain, a state of being sure about something, being without doubt, certificate, a document that makes certain or confirms a fact. Certify, again, to make something certain, to confirm something, to validate something. Ascertain, to find out something and to be sure of something. When I looked at her facial expressions, I was certain that she was lying. So, to make sure that something has happened, a certain something. Next, mal, we have been talking about this. Again, it has been taken up from malice, malaria. So the story behind malaria is that obviously today we know that malaria is caused due to a female Anopheles mosquito, right, which carries a parasite. But earlier, in earlier times, it was thought that malaria is caused due to bad air, because generally mosquitoes tend to thrive in areas that are dirty, that are not very hygienic. So it was believed that जहाँ पे भी ऐसी गंदी हवा होगी वहाँ पे जो लोग रहेंगे उनको मलेरिया हो जाएगा. They were not aware of the fact कि वो गंदी air से नहीं हो रहा है, वहाँ पे जो mosquitoes है गंदे उनसे हो रहा है. तो mal and area, bad air. So that is how the disease got its name. Malformed, badly formed, malnutrition, malfunction, malice, malevolent. Benevolent ka opposite, malevolent. Benevolent person is someone who is kind, who is generous, who has good intentions. Malevolent, someone who has evil intentions, someone who is an evil person. Malaise is a general feeling when you feel a very कभी कभार बिना बात के मूड खराब होता है, बिना बात के हम लो on energy feel करते हैं. We do not have any exact reason, but we are in a state of malaise. To be in a state of malaise is when you feel unnecessarily unhappy or you feel slightly ill, you're not at your 100%. So you are in a state of malaise. Again, a French word, maladie. Maladi. Maladi is a French word which literally means sickness. Right? इसको short form में mal लिख लेते हैं. It literally means sickness. ठीक है? It's a French word, maladi. M-A-L-A-D-I-E. नेक्स्ट एंटी, इसके बारे में हमने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले बात की थी. इट मीन्स बिफोर. सो सॉरी.
Mom, the last word, malaise, you said that's part of the word malice. Okay, you said that malaise was part of malice, which is bad or evil, but malaise is a feeling of being unhappy, right? So how does it connect? Because it's a feeling of being under the weather.
Unhappy, yeah, under the weather, are they good feelings or are they bad feelings? Are they good emotions or are they bad emotions?
But they're not evil, right?
Not necessarily evil, something which is not good. Something which is not good. Evil भी हो सकता है, bad भी हो सकता है, not good भी हो सकता है. When you're not feeling happy, not being happy or being unhappy or being slightly sick or feeling slightly sick or feeling not good for any particular reason, you won't categorize it एक good feeling के box में, right? Obviously they are bad emotions. So that is why. ठीक है?
Yeah.
Next आइए anti. So anti हमने डिस्कस किया था antebellum के टाइम. It means before. So antebellum, the period before the war. Ante-room, a small room that serves as an entrance to the main room or to any large room. Antedate, to be older than or to come before something in time. Antediluvian, this is a word that is बहुत जगह मैंने ये पढ़ा भी है. So it refers to a period before the flood. So basically it refers to a period that was very old. Antediluvian का अभी modern day जो meaning होगा, modern day जो significance है, that is ancient or something which is very old. right? Antecedent, a thing that has existed before or logically precedes another. This is a word that is used in English grammar a lot. For example, if I say there is a noun, sneha, and then I use a pronoun to refer to sneha, I say she. So sneha acts as an antecedent for the pronoun she. Sneha would act as the antecedent for the pronoun she. So it's usually used in grammar. So it means that a thing that has existed before another thing or that precedes another thing. Could be used to refer to an ancestor as well. But generally we tend not to, but could be. Next, anthro, everything that has to do with humankind, mankind, humans, in general. Anthropology, the study of mankind, cultures, development over the years. Philanthropist is a person. So again, यहाँ पे भी दो root words use हो रहे हैं. Phil is the root word for love. ठीक है, file बोलते हैं when we combine it with other words. So bibliophile, someone who loves reading books. ठीक है, hydrophile, the love of water. इसका opposite would be phobia. ठीक है, so philanthropist is someone who works towards bettering the situation of the less privileged by donating money, by doing something for a good cause, and someone who just, loves mankind in general is a philanthropist. Opposite would be just a second. Opposite would be misanthrope, someone who dislikes humankind, someone who's a very cynical person. एक ऐसा पर्सन जिसको ट्रस्ट नहीं होता किसी और इंसान पे, इज वेरी वेरी सिनिकल, इज वेरी डिस्ट्रस्टफुल ऑफ पीपल इन जनरल, ऑफ ह्यूमन काइंड इन जनरल, हैज अ पर्टिकुलर डिसलाइक फॉर अदर पीपल. Anthropocentric activities, activities or behavior that regard humanity as the central most important element of existence. उसके आगे कुछ नहीं, उसके पीछे कुछ नहीं. Again, centrum या centric again is a root word. Centrum is the root word, centric is derived out of it. Centrum means the center. So if I say someone is an egocentric person, now again this has two root words. Ego means something that has to do with I. So egoistic, egotistic, egocentric, egomaniac. So egocentric is someone who thinks that the entire world revolves around them. They are the center of, not even center of attention, they have this belief that the entire world revolves around them. This obviously fake belief that the entire world runs around them. Centrum is another root word which obviously means center. Auto, ye
Mom,
I think ko pata. Hanji.
What was the antonym of the misanthrope?
Philanthrope. Philanthropist, philanthrope भी बोलते हैं इसको. मिज़ैंथ्रोप है, philanthrope भी बोल सकते हैं, philanthropist भी बोल सकते हैं. Philanthropy is the, जैसे anthropology है वैसे philanthropy भी बोल सकते हैं.
That's the antonym of misanthrope, right?
Philanthropist, हाँ. Yes, the opposite. Next, a person, auto. So auto means self, autobiography. Misanthrope would not be the antonym of this thing. Philanthropist, misanthropist would be the ideal, but misanthrope भी हम use कर सकते हैं. ज़्यादा उसमें problem नहीं है. Next, autobiography, a person's life story that the person writes themselves. Automobile, a self-moving vehicle. Automatic, something which happens independently without any external force or external influence. Autocrat, a ruler with absolute power without any other party or any other external influence controlling him or her. A sole ruler. Autonomous, Autonomous is generally used for an autonomous organization, an autonomous government, something that is independent, something that is self-governing, not influenced or not dependent rather on external factors. Autograph a person's own signature. Autopilot, when you put something, generally a vehicle or an aircraft, on autopilot, the vehicle or the aircraft can operate itself. So auto, something to do with self. Theo is the root word for God. Theology is the study of God and religion. Theocracy, a system of government in which the priests rule in the name of God. There's no actual party or a group of leaders or politicians that rule, but priests rule in the name of God. Polytheism, a belief in more than one God. Atheism, belief that there is no God. Alter, again, alter is the root word for other or another. Alteration, to change something to something other than its original form. When you alter something, you modify something or you change something. Alternative, some other option. I will not take this option, I will take its alternative. So some other option. Alter ego, a second self or a different version of oneself. Again, alternate, alternative. Alternate as in ये वाला alternate, occurring in turn repeatedly, ठीक है? And altruism is a person or an altruistic person. Altruism is that quality. Altruistic person is a person who is a selfless person, who thinks about others. यहाँ पे others कैसे use हो रहा है? This person or this sort of person would think about others first and then think about himself or herself. So someone who is very, very selfless, someone who cares about other people more than himself or herself would be an altruistic person. And this quality that one possesses is known as altruism.
Ma'am, but altercation is also has the root word alter in it, but altercation
means to have or to fight with someone else, to have a fight with some other person. Altercation, very good. Thank you for reminding. Altercation is also derived from alter, to fight with some other person. Okay, altercation is also derived from the same root word, to fight with some other person.
Okay.
Next, anti, whatever, suit yourselves. This means against or opposite. ANTE meant before something. ANTI means against or opposite of something. Antidote, a substance that works against the effects of a poison. Antivenom, again, a substance that works against the effects of a venom. Antibiotic, a medicine that works against bacteria, that kills certain microorganisms. So antibiotic, we are talking about antibiotic. Antibiotic is specifically for bacteria. So a medicine that kills or that acts opposite bacteria. Antisocial, a person who is sort of, not in favor of being in a group or wants to limit their social interaction. Someone who's very meek, someone who doesn't want to, have a conversation with the people around. So antisocial. Anticlimax, a disappointing turn of events after a previous exciting build-up. Antioxidant, a compound that works to prevent cell damage that is caused by oxidation of certain elements present in the cell. Next, melan. Melan is the Greek word for dark or black. So melanin, It is the pigment, dark pigment, which is found in our skin cells, in our hair cells, and that pigment actually decides the skin color of a person. So someone who is very fair skinned probably has less melanin in their body, or their body produces less melanin. Melanocyte, again, cyte is the root word for cell. CYTE is the root word for cell. Different cells in our body, adipocytes, melanocytes. So cyte is the root word for cell, the cells in our body, biologically in our body. Melanocyte, a cell that produces melanin. Melanoma, again, oma, sarcoma, ठीक है, carcinoma. So noma, words that end in noma generally represent forms of cancer. So not N also, I would say OMA, sarcoma हो गया, carcinoma हो गया, melanoma हो गया. So forms of cancer. Melancholy. So now we know, I am sure everyone must be aware of this particular word, melancholy, to be in a space of melancholy or to be in a melancholic mood is to be very depressed or to feel very, very sad. But ye word originate kaise hua hai? So earlier there was this belief that obviously our liver produces bile, and there was this belief that किसी एक particular disease में, I'm not able to recollect the name of the disease, but किसी एक particular disease में black bile produce होता है, and उस disease के symptoms depression, one of the symptoms है कि the person would be very, very depressed, would feel very, very sad because of that production of that black bile in their body. So that is how this word melancholy came into picture. Next, Midi, it means middle, medieval, middle age period falling between Roman Empire and Renaissance. Mediocre, someone who is in the middle, someone who's not very good, someone who's not very bad, someone who's there in the middle, a quality that is average, that is not pertaining to any of the extremes, not very good, not very bad. Medium, something which is in the middle. Medium temperature, medium size of clothes. Mediate, someone who mediates an argument or acts as a mediator, acts as a middle party in an argument to help settle it or to solve a dispute. So to mediate an argument, a mediator. Median, again, mathematical term in a set of numbers. The median is the number that lies in the middle. And medial, biological word in anatomy, this term refers to being in the middle of the body. So next would be omni. Omni means all or every. So anything plus omni means all plus that word. Omnipotent, potent, potency. Potent signifies power, potency. How, when we say potency is generally used for drugs or medicines, potent drug, potent medicines. So the degree of efficiency of a drug is measured in terms of its potency. So omnipotent, someone who has all the power in the world. In short, someone who has unlimited power, someone who is extremely powerful is an omnipotent person. Omniscient, again, scient, something to do with knowing. So someone who knows everything. Omnipresent, something which is present everywhere. Omnivore, someone who, or an organism who would eat everything. Veg, non-veg, animal, plants, person, everything. So omni is the root word for all or every. Next, pan. Pan means all. Pan is the root word for all. Pandemic is a condition, a disease, an epidemic that spreads all across the entire world, not restricted to a particular region, a particular native area, but spreads all across. Panorama, a full unbroken view of a wide area. Panacea is a remedy for all diseases or all problems. Obviously, it is a hypothetical word, but panacea means a remedy or a disease for all the problems. A remedy for all the diseases or all the problems. Pantheon. Now, this has two meanings. One, a group of people, a large group of people who are the most powerful set of people, or the most respected, actually powerful and respected set of people in a particular area or in a particular country. And second, all gods worshipped by a particular people or a particular country. Something to do with all. यहाँ पे pan है, theo है. Pan है और theo है. So theo was the root word for God. So if you actually try to break down, मैं ये नहीं कह रही हूँ कि तुम्हें हर word को break down करके कुछ ना कुछ root word मिलेगा. हर word में possible ही नहीं है. It's not possible. But yes, 50 to 60%, even 70%, I would say sometimes, किस्मत अच्छी है तो half the battle is won अगर तुम्हें root words पता है. यहाँ पे भी a group of people who are most respected in a particular sphere of or country इसलिए बोल रहे हैं because they are considered to be God. वो इतने powerful हैं कि हम उनको भगवान का दर्जा दे रहे हैं. That is where it comes from. Next would be phone. It has to do with sound or voice. अच्छी या बुरी ये नहीं, वो हम कोई prefix लगा के decide करेंगे. But it means some sort of noise, some sort of voice. Sorry, not noise. Noise would be a negative connotation. Some sort of sound or voice. Microphone, a device that makes sounds louder. Phonetics in English, the study of speech sounds, how when you break down a word into certain parts in order to facilitate how it is pronounced, that study is known as phonetics. Symphony, a combination of sounds that occurs from musical instruments. Telephone, a device that is used to transmit sound over a distance. Homophone, again, a word in any language that has similar sound but different meanings. Cacophony is a very, very unpleasant or harsh sound. The opposite of cacophony is euphony. Euphony, a very pleasant, mellifluous, melodious sound. Euphony, opposite, a very, very harsh, very unpleasant, very disturbing noise. Noise would be cacophony. Xylophone, a musical instrument that is used to make or produce sounds. Next, sane, it means health. So sane in general, of healthy mind. Someone who is a sane person has a healthy mind, has a healthy mindset, has a sound mind. Insane, someone who is not of sound mind. यहाँ से हमको ये भी पता चल गया कि in जो है वो किसी भी word के अगर आप आगे लगाओगे, it would turn the meaning of the word to its opposite. ठीक है? Sanitary conditions that are hygienic and healthy, relating to health and hygiene. Sanitation, again, pertaining to sanitary conditions. Sanity comes from sane, someone who is sane. Sanity, same word se aa raha hai. Sanatorium is an establishment for medical treatments, especially for diseases that are chronic, not acute. It is an establishment for such people or such.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Ma'am, like in the previous slide, you told that if in is used as a prefix in a word,
Mostly, yes, mostly.
तो मतलब it would mean that it means not, right?
Disciplined, indisciplined. Opposite हो गया ना, someone who's disciplined, someone who's not disciplined.
तो मतलब if you do see the word intensity, तो उसमें how?
That is what I said कि ये चीजें 70% तक ही काम करेगी. अगर हर word में if we try to find कि ऐसे क्यों हो रहा है, ऐसे क्यों हो रहा है, insensitivity या intensity you said ना, उसमें obviously it's not applicable, but most of the times you will.
मतलब if we mostly talk about verbs, तो उसमें it can be used to negate the original word.
Could be, yes.
ठीक.
ठीक है. Next, cred. Cred is the root word for to believe or to trust. Someone who is a credulous person. We say credulous people can be fooled very, very easily because they are very, very, you can say they are very naive. Someone who's credulous would believe anything or would trust anything that you would tell that person, is very ready to believe things. So someone who's credulous puts their trust in people very easily. Credence is a belief or an acceptance that something might be true. Incredible, something which is, I mean, incredible is used in a good way, something which is so extraordinary that it is difficult to believe or impossible to believe that that particular thing is actually true or exists. Credo, a set of beliefs or guiding principles, and credit, the ability to buy something based on the seller's belief that you will pay later, right? Credibility, that quality that you have कि कोई आप पे trust करे ना करे. If you break someone's trust time and over, you lose your credibility. You use your credibility because then that person would think twice before putting their trust in you. Next, dure. It is the root word for hard, strong, or lasting. Endure, to last through hardship or to tolerate something which is difficult. Durable, something which is able to last for a long time. Duration, again, the length of something, the length of time. Duress, any type of hardship, any type of constraint, any type of difficult situation in life. Okay, next, tell. Tell is
the previous slide once.
Sorry?
Could you go back to the previous slide once?
Yes.
Thank you.
Done? Next, pell. Pell is to drive or to push or to force. Okay, to drive, to push, or to force. So when you compel someone to do something, you force someone to do something. When you expel, you forcefully drive out. Impel, again, to cause something to happen. I didn't want to, they impelled me to do this, to force someone to act in a particular manner or behave in a particular manner or do something or, go forward with something. Again, propel, to drive, to push, or to cause to move forward. So pel is the root word for to drive or to push. Lord, again, to lord.
Ma'am, could you just go to the previous slide? Yeah, ma'am, thank you.
थोड़ा सा टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट है, आई एम सॉरी गाइस, वरना इतना जल्दी जल्दी मैं नहीं करती. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, लॉर्ड, इट मींस टू प्रेज समवन. अपलॉड, ठीक है, अपलॉड में भी लॉर्ड है. लॉडेटरी, expressing praise or commendation. Laudable, someone who is laudable, or work, your work is laudable, is worthy of praise. Laudation is the act of praising something or someone. इसमें ना एक बड़ा ही peculiar सा चेंज ऑफ लेटर्स हुआ है एंड इन्हीं लेटर्स को चेंज करके एक वर्ड बना है एड्यूलेशन, which also means praise. So this could be like a trick to remember कि adulation, although exactly LAUD नहीं है, but yes, थोड़ा इधर उधर करके लेटर्स को ये वर्ड बना है adulation, which also means to praise, to flatter someone, to praise someone. Her work didn't receive the adulation it deserved. So to praise someone, to flatter someone. Next, sense. Sense means to feel something. to perceive something. Sense organs, 5 sense organs. Sensation, a sensible person, someone who has this feeling of what is good and what is bad and how to react. Sensitive, someone who is very, very responsive to stimulus. Someone who is sensitive, if you take it literally, someone who is very, very responsive to stimulus. But also metaphorically, a sensitive person is someone who's very emotional, because that person feels things to another level, to a deep level, is very, very responsive to external factors around him or her. So sensitive. Consensus, when you come to a consensus, we were not able to come to a common consensus, a general agreement, or a feeling of being collective with a group, a feeling of being together with a group. Dissension, again, is the opposite. It means a disagreement or a difference of opinion that tends to lead to a conflict. Insensible, someone who is not, I would not say devoid of emotion, someone who does not feel as deeply with as much depth, probably. Nonsense, something that lacks meaning, or something which is foolish. And sentient, someone, a sentient person, again, someone who is very, very capable of feeling something or perceiving something. Next would be pyre. Pyre means fire. We have these medicines like paracetamol, we have crocin, we have dolo. These are antipyretics. These come under a group of, or a category of medicines known as antipyretics. Fever, कैसे आया? Fire से heat आया. Fever में our body is heated. Anti, opposite. So जो उस heat को कम कर रहा है, उसके opposite act कर रहा है, antipyretic medicines. Pyromania, the obsession or this insane habit of setting things on fire. Pyrometer is a high temperature thermometer that is used to measure the temperature of any source from a distance. Pyrotechnics is the art of creating fireworks and other fire related displays. Pyroelectricity is the electricity produced in certain entities, in certain crystals when they are subjected to heat. Pyric, अब इसका जो मतलब है वो बहुत ज्यादा फायर से मिलता जुलता नहीं है. That is why I would say कि ये थोड़ा सा different है. It means to win something but at a cost. So for example, if you are in a battle and you get severely mutilated, किसी ने हाथ काट दिया, किसी ने पैर काट दिया, and eventually you win that battle, that is a pyrrhic win. At what cost? You won something, you were victorious, but the cost of that victory is very, very high. So not exactly relevant, I would say, but yeah, you could also remember this particular word. Next, phobe. This is the last root word of the day. Phobe, related to any fear, related to any situation of panic. Acrophobia is the fear of heights. Aerophobia, fear of flying. Arachnophobia, now this again has two root words. Arachnids is a particular category of arthropods that have certain jointed appendages, right? So arachnophobia is the fear of spiders. Claustrophobia, fear of confined spaces. Hydrophobia, originally it was associated with rabies, because people who suffer from rabies have this repulsion towards water. They have this fear of water. Necrophobia, fear of death. Nyctophobia, fear of darkness. Thanatophobia, fear of death. Xenophobia, again, xeno is a prominent root word in itself. Xeno means foreign. Something that is not native to you. Something that is not indigenous. Something which is foreign. Xenophobia would be a fear of or hatred for foreigners. And foreigners का मतलब actually में foreigners नहीं है, something who is foreign to you, could be a stranger as well. Someone who is foreign to you. Could be an actual foreigner, could be a stranger, someone you don't know. Xenophile would be a person who has a strong love for foreigners or people of other community, people of other country, or strangers in general. ठीक है? Done. नेक्रोफोबिया की अगर हम बात करें तो more towards the fear of dead bodies. More towards the fear of dead bodies. Right? ठीक है? चलिए. Thank you so much, guys, for connecting at this time of the day. I would rather say of the night. So ठीक है. There are many root words. कुछ मैं बताती रहूंगी, कुछ अपने एंड पे भी अगर सर्च करोगे. just इंटेंट होना चाहिए कि आप एक रूट वर्ड को लेके समझो उसका मीनिंग, एंड देन आई थिंक ये एक easier way है if you want to study vocabulary rather than the conventional rote learning that we follow that sometimes is not as effective. So that is all from my side. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll see you soon in the next class.
Ma'am, will you also share this file with us?
I'll ask them if I can send this on the Telegram group, and I'll send it to you tomorrow in your respective groups.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.